Well, today, in a nutshell, the purpose of the day and what it's about is really trying to enable a conversation. And the conversation is about what is it that people in communities care about deeply and want to act on. Part of the challenge is, as well as hearing what people care about deeply and want to act upon in community life, we also have to have a conversation about how agencies can be enablers of that. And that's not easy because sometimes agencies are organised to provide services and not just facilitate community action. So today is about how do we do that? How do we provide services but also facilitate community building?
But the question is not what are we doing to communities, for communities or with communities to add value to them. The question is how do we in the third sector and the public sector create more space for communities to do the things that matter most to them, to create the things that they care about.
How big a challenge is it to enable a paradigm shift whereby we are going to see agencies and practitioners become facilitators of community-led action and not just people who recruit clients for their services is the key question, right? And I think it's a huge challenge because a lot of our agencies have been set up to service clients. And what we're talking about is empowering citizens. Now actually you need both. Sometimes we need to be clients, we need to consume services, but we also need to be empowered and enabled as citizens. And so the challenge is not small, it's very, very, very significant, but it's well within our gift.
I think today is about the beginning of it's the possibility of being the beginning of a transformational journey for the partnership in South Lanarkshire. The transformational bit for me is around, I suppose, reconfiguring the way people in South Lanarkshire see services and see their own responsibilities, see their own lives, and maybe it's a bit about us stepping back as services and giving individuals, families, communities responsibility, control, to keep well, to look after each other, and of course to come to services when they need to, and for us to be responsive. So it would be a really different way of understanding health, social care from the services point of view, but from a community's point of view it would be really empowering individuals to take responsibility, control, and to redefine life in their communities in a way that they think would be good for them and could keep growing and flourishing in a way that I can't imagine. I think what I have done, I hope what I have done as a senior leader is created the opportunity and the environment for discussions. As Cormac has said, to start the journey of discovering what's in communities rather than just looking at what we deliver. What's the journey of discovery, and to have those conversations today and in the 4 localities, because it might be different in the different localities, but what are we discovering? So nothing's predetermined for me, but huge opportunity, and I hope, as I say, I've created the conditions to have those really powerful discussions.
It's been a really interesting day. Very thought-provoking presentations and group discussions. Very interesting to see how South Lanarkshire Health Partnership are grappling with some of the contemporary challenges and issues in terms of how we deliver services, how we involve individuals and communities in the planning and execution of those services, and really I think trying to see what is possible. So when it comes to involving communities and drawing on the assets that communities have in order to work in a genuine partnership with those who are charged with providing services to meet their needs.
My thoughts on today so far, I think it's really exciting, it's really interesting. I see lots and lots of motivation to make things different and to be about people, because even when we talk about whether we're talking about the economy or whether we're talking about strategies for health and social care, there's lots of numbers and figures and targets and finances, but the bottom line is that it's always got to be about people. That's what's at the centre of it, otherwise it's all worthless.
I think for me this morning there's a couple of things that I was really encouraged by. I was encouraged by the amount of motivation in the room when Cormac is speaking about mobilising people in communities and they can come together and they're perhaps the best people to help themselves. That's something that I strongly believe, because that's the way we work within our organisation and our charity. But just to see so many different organisations there and everybody thinking the same and everybody realising there is something that we can do different. If we're not already doing it that way, we're willing to change the way we're working and look at this from a different perspective, and perhaps getting the communities to, work together in a way that helps them recognise their own issues that they want to deal with, recognise them and give them the tools and the capacity to solve their own problems, if it is problems. But also there's a couple of good news stories in there, and it was great to hear them getting shared. And again, that's just highlighting how much communities themselves and the people that live in communities and the residents, whether they be young, old or whatever, what they can actually bring and contribute to their communities, because everybody's important. Everybody's important. And we're just the people that are helping facilitate that, and we need to remember that and be mindful. We're only facilitating, we're no sorting.